Hello everyone, Jeremy here with a mysterious minifigure package all the way from China. I paid $2 for what is presumably 6 minifigures that's inside of this package, and the bidding was starting at 16 cents, so I figured I'm gonna bid up to a couple of bucks. I won, and I figured even if what's in here is complete garbage, it's only $2, whatever. It got to me in about 2 weeks, which is pretty fast considering that some things from China never arrive. So anyway, to give you a hint of what's inside of this package, this is based on an animated television program, and it also has a lot of movies under his belt, and there's also a movie coming out this summer based on the characters inside of this package. And also, this is from a show that is very near and dear to my heart, especially when I was growing up. I'm 28, so think about around the time you may have been in middle school if you're around my age, and coming home and really wanting to watch this show and see what happens next. Is that enough of a hint for you? Well, take your guesses now. I'm about to open this up and see the quality of these things. Alright, here we go. Last chance to take your guess. Here we go. Boom. And if you guessed Dragon Ball Z, you will be 100% right. I've got myself 6 minifigures based on some Dragon Ball Z characters. I have, who I'm assuming, is Gohan, Vegeta, Krillin, Master Roshi, Yamcha, and Goku in Super Saiyan form. Nicely individually wrapped, I might add. I didn't think that these would be wrapped individually. I thought that they would all just be stuffed in there together. But good to have all of them individually wrapped. So now, let's take them out, take a look at them one by one, and all together. Let's take a look at Gohan first, and the little accessory that they had for him was a sword. And of course, Gohan really didn't use a sword, really, all that much, if at all. Can't really remember during the Dragon Ball Z saga. But, I'm surprised at how well this character has actually turned out. I have low expectations from minifigures coming over from China, but they did a pretty darn good job on him. I like the hairpiece that he has. One thing that I do notice is that on the back of his head, he does have a double-sided face. But when you bring his head down just a little bit, you'll see that you can kind of see a portion of his face coming out from the bottom of his hair. But whatever, no big deal. Let's take off this hairpiece, and you can see his other side of his face, his worried face. And then flipping him over onto the front, there is his, kind of happy, content face. And this is all done very much in like the Lego style and scale, from the little stud on the top of his head, and there is printing on his front and a little bit on his back torso, but not on his legs. Now, another interesting thing about these characters is the way that the leg piece connects to the body. You see, it looks like this. It's not just like Lego, but it still goes in there easily enough. It's a nice snug fit. You can just put the base plate back on him. And yeah, there's Gohan. The hair piece is kind of like it's kind of rubbery. It's not, it feels good. It looks good. And yeah, very, very pleasantly surprised with Gohan. And we still got 5 more to go. So on to the next one. And now we have Master Roshi, the man who is kind of like the Grandpa Kent of Dragon Ball Z, because he found Goku and he raised him since he was a little baby, and he's also a pretty darn good fighter to be an old man himself. Now, of course, in the Dragon Ball Z saga, Master Roshi was just as feeble as any other human because the enemies got way too strong for the traditional fighters of yesteryear. But as far as his minifigure goes, they gave him a few different accessories. They got this turtle shell on the back of him that just goes right under his headpiece, and then they also gave him that beard that goes right at the bottom, just like the turtle shell, right at the bottom of the headpiece. And he also has some printing underneath that beard, which I will show you in just a second. And Master Roshi is bald, so he has no hair on the top. And then this right here, which I'm guessing maybe that's his cane. Not too sure about that. I know that he had like a walking stick, I believe, and I think that's what that's for. I didn't look at any pictures to reference it to make sure that I actually built it up correctly, but just like Gohan, the printing on him in his face is done really, really well. They got his sunglasses or, just his regular glasses and his old man eyebrows, but there is no printing on the back of his head. So that's unlike Gohan, but still, so far, I think 2 out of 2 with these minifigures. They've done a very, very good job. And right before we move on, let me show you the printing under his beard. There you go, Master Roshi. Not too shabby. Good printing. Yamcha. Yamcha, I don't like Yamcha. I don't like Yamcha because it's kind of like a little running joke that I have between me and my buddy who is also really into Dragon Ball Z, because Yamcha is just so darn weak. It's pathetic, especially in Dragon Ball Z. Used to date Bulma, but I just hate you, Yamcha. But his minifigure, ironically, so far is the most imperfect of the 2 that I've looked at so far. Because on his chest, I'm not too sure if you can see it on the camera, but on his chest there are some scratches. Oh, so just like in the show, Yamcha, you're still getting your butt kicked, unlike everyone else. So anyway, on the back he has his karate gi on. I don't know what the symbol on the back of it means, but I believe he was also trained by Master Roshi, so they all share that in common. And his hairpiece is nice and it's unique, and he also has the scars on his face from getting beat up a lot because he's Yamcha, and that's what happens to Yamcha. And yeah, he also has a double-sided face. Yamcha's one saving grace. So on the front, he's looking kind of stoic, like he thinks he's going to win. And then on the back, oh, he came apart. And on the back is Yamcha's mean face. And I took off the hairpiece just so you can get a better look at that. But just like the Gohan figure with the hairpiece on, you can still kind of see his other side kind of exposed. So if we just bring him up a little bit, you can kind of see his face underneath it all. Not a very big deal at all. And for him, they gave him a sword which looks very similar to Gohan's sword, but it also has like a little stud in there, so you can put like a, I don't know, maybe like a colored piece in there to make it some sort of a magical sword, something to help good old Yamcha out every now and again. I don't know, but that's Yamcha. Besides the scratches on his torso on the front, he's still a pretty good figure. $2 for all of these. We are on a roll. Let's move on. All right, now we're talking. Vegeta, the Prince of all Saiyans. Vegeta, the character that came around near the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, right after Radix wreaking havoc on Earth, and him and Nappa came in and were eventually defeated by Goku when he got back from being dead, running down Snake Way. But anyway, Vegeta is pretty cool. The only thing that I've noticed about him that I don't like is that his legs are uneven. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but his legs aren't perfectly symmetrical like the other minifigures that I've seen here. They're curved a little bit inward, like he's a little bit bow-legged, and that's too bad. They also gave him a sword, which, is unlike Vegeta. He does not have an energy sword, but it is a cool piece. This piece here is pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of what Mega Bloks does when they have pieces that are kind of infused with other colors. So in this one, it kind of goes from a sort of a darker blue to a lighter blue, and it just kind of fades onto white. And I think that that's really, really cool for him. And Vegeta's hairpiece is just awesome. It's awesome. Vegeta has some of the most unique hair in Dragon Ball Z, goes straight up. And they did a really, whoever you are who made this, you did a very good job. He's also wearing his Saiyan armor, which is something that was not very necessary in the later chapters of the Dragon Ball Z saga. And that face is classic Vegeta. Kind of the puckered lips, frowning all the time. Really, really good. You know what, it would have been awesome if he had the printing on his head that had the scanner, so he can freak out when something goes over 9,000. But hey, whatever. Unfortunately, he does not have printing. Oh, he does have printing on the back of his head. I did not notice that. My mistake. And in my opinion, This is even better because he has like kind of this smirking, he knows he's better than you, he knows he's going to beat you look on his face. So yeah, looking really good there, Vegeta. Let's give one more look, hopefully a more in focus look at the back of his head. I like that one better. I'm going to use this as his default face because that's classic Vegeta. Alright, so one more to go. This is Krillin. Krillin's cool. He's Goku's best friend. They gave him the little short legs where the legs can't move because Krillin is very short, and they gave him a pair of golden daggers. Again, don't know why, but still nice to have. Krillin has no printing on the back of his head. This time I am positive of that. And he is also wearing a similar, although it's not the same gi that Yamcha is wearing. It's the same, hey, we were trained by Master Roshi get up that they have. And wow, I really like how they did Krillin's face. Krillin's face looks really, really good. You know, he's got those 6 dots down the center of his, kind of like from the top of his forehead almost down to like where his eyebrows begin. So they got that really, really well done. And the little lines over his eyes, on the side of his eyes, because, you know, Krillin, he's a pretty happy guy, you know, except when people start getting hurt and he gets a little angry. And he throws a destructo disc that can destroy mountains and cut them in half. So Krillin is a very simple character, but in that simplicity, they did a really good job putting him together. He does not have bow legs like Vegeta does. And wow, I am really astonished at his face print, and all of their face print did such a good job on these figures. Alright, we got one more to go, the star of the show. I had to save the best for last. Let's look at Goku. The star of the show, Goku, here he is in his Super Saiyan getup. Super Saiyan level 1, level 2, I don't know, it's one of those. And Goku, as expected, is awesome. That hair piece, as expected, is awesome. And he does have 2 printed faces. And on the back, they also gave him, I believe they called this like a power pole or just something that he used to use really mainly during the Dragon Ball, the first Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z, but he didn't use it all that much in Dragon Ball Z because, you know, what does he need a pole for? He's a freaking Super Saiyan. But anyway, they do give you that attachment if you so choose to use it. And just like Vegeta, you know, very, very, very good job on his hair. And although they could have just easily used Vegeta's hair and just made it yellow, but they didn't do that. They gave him unique hair. You see these little strands are coming over his eyes. He's looking quite awesome. Let's take this off and take off his headpiece and swing that around the back so you can get a better look at it. And that's Goku's super angry face, perhaps the you just killed Krillin face. And this piece right here goes under his head, and that's what connects this pole to his body. But of course, you don't have to use it if you don't want to. And let's just take off his head and show you a look at the back printing. So it's pretty simple, but still, Goku, no flaws on him that I can tell. And we'll wrap it up with Goku's mean face getting ready to fight somebody because he really likes to fight. So, that's a look at all 6 figures. Let's bring them all together now and give some final thoughts. These are definitely, without a doubt, some of the coolest darn minifigures I have ever purchased. Not just because they're from Dragon Ball Z and I like Dragon Ball Z, but because I am surprised that these came from an eBay seller in China for $2 with free shipping. I thought that pieces would be flying off, that the quality would be horrible, or that I just wouldn't get them at all. But my goodness, this is a huge shock. I'm telling you, if these were sold, if this were an official Lego product and these were being sold in stores, you would spend $3-4 on these and you would not care. It would totally be worth it. Totally would be worth it. So, wow, you know, this is a huge surprise to me. And now, I am going to see what other kind of minifigures this seller actually has, and I'm going to try to grab some more. If he has different Dragon Ball Z figures or other figures based on other properties and franchises and whatnot, because if these are any indication as to the rest of the things that they sell, wow, I am in for a huge treat. So all these minifigures get a soaring thumbs up from me. A little bit of flaws aside, Yamcha scratched up front piece, torso piece, and Vegeta's slightly crooked legs. It does not detract from what has overall been a very, very pleasurable mystery minifigure video for me to make for you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Jeremy, and I will talk to you later. Later.